Hey everybody, it's the R&B Show. Can you dig it? And now, the two dudes who wisely suspend high fives during the cold and flu season. Here's Ricardo and Brett.
Thank you, Rosie. I'm not sure, Brett, do you think he sounds even more deep voice with being under the weather a little bit?
I don't know if folks know what happened to our beloved Rosie,
yes,
but
why don't you explain
he was in bad shape.
Yeah.
You explain, Rosie, what happened to you? You've been down and out, man.
Yeah, I caught the flu over the weekend.
Not good.
Probably, Saturday, Sunday. Monday it kicked in. Hopefully I'll be good.
Get that Lysol can over here, would you, please?
I've got my Brown's water here. You know,
Spray us all down, could you?
Yes, I've been spraying. It smells kind of nice in here. But, it caused us to miss Monday's game. Tuesday didn't really work out. But so hopefully we'll get something. There's something to be said about Friday night, but we'll get into that later.
Well, yeah, Rosie, by the way, Ricardo, I don't know if you saw, but I brought a thing of Clorox wipes, and I yesterday wiped down my entire workstation because I sit next to Rosie.
I did like that.
Knowing that he was not feeling well. I hope you've done the same, because I know your workstation's pretty messy.
It is. It's always a little messy. It's like a genius, babe. It's like Albert Einstein over there, mad scientist. No, but actually, I'm glad you have the Lysol in here. Well, maybe not so much, because I thought maybe that I smelled a little bit like bacon because my son was late start today in Appleton. Okay. He's like, Dad, we haven't had bacon in a while. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do that. So I went and got some bacon, made him some biscuits and stuff like that. No, not scratch. The
stuff in the can.
The Pillsbury. Pillsbury. You can never get the spoon right either.
You know what I like about those Pillsbury cans is that last second where they pop open.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing though. If you don't peel off enough of that paper. And then you're really working that spoon, and then sometimes you accidentally stick a little too much, and then you get it into the dough, and it just messes everything up. Yeah. But I was able to get them the biscuits and eggs. But when you make bacon, it stinks up the house a little bit.
I love that smell.
I know, but it's a good smell.
Now hold on one minute before we start our show. How do you make your bacon, Brett? Do you fry it on a pan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rosie,
pan extra crisp.
You bake it.
Bake it?
Yes. Can you please just give this a try for me? Anybody
out
out there?
All right.
Actually, I think
explain how you'd bake it.
My mother-in-law bakes it. Yeah, she does.
Let me tell you what you do. First off, you got to get a pretty nice pan that's a little deep inside. Okay. You could try a cookie pan, but I bought a specific bacon pan, actually with the rack over it, thinking that would work. It didn't come out well.
Oh, okay.
So I actually took off the rack and I just used the pan that's little. It's the depth is a little bit deeper than a cookie pan. You put some tin foil in there to catch all the grease. You put like I usually use thick cut bacon because it just the pliability, I guess, for lack of a better way. It just stays in form. You put for me, my son, we have basically a strip and a half, 3 strips of bacon in there of the thick stuff. Put it in the oven for about 400. Bake it 10 or 15. You can kind of eyeball it too. Bring it out, let it cool, and then you take them off and you pat it down, with the napkins, take out the extra grease.
Yep.
Perfect. It's perfect.
Nice.
Just give it a try. All I'm gonna say is give it a try, because a roommate of mine, she's the one who showed me how to do it the first time, and I'm like, man, this bacon's great. How do you do this? I can never make it look like this. She's like, I bake it.
Well, you got to have the meaty bacon,
the
too.
thick cut, yes.
Yeah,
you need the thick cut. Don't use the thin.
There's a nearby bacon producer. I'm not going to say its name, but it's sort of in between here and Wausau. Folks can figure it out. That has fantastic bacon.
Yes.
And by the way, Rosie, this is the true test on how he's feeling. When we talk about bacon, does that sound good to you, or is it still like a little queasy?
What?
No, it sounds good.
Delicious.
But he's coming off the flu. Anything sounds bad when you're...
what is it?
Are you contagious, by the way?
I don't think so. My fever's been gone since Monday.
You have a green hue to you. I'm a little worried about
I think it's the wall. Wall over here.
The Taj 2.0 green screen, or whatever Ricardo calls it.
Yeah. What is it? Is it feed a cold, starve a fever, or starve a cold, feed a fever?
I forget about that, too.
I've never even heard that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay. Wow, I'm really showing my age.
By the way, we got our friend Allison Westcott. She said those biscuit cans are the most terrifying thing ever.
Well,
come on, Allie.
And look, here's the thing. I've actually one time I couldn't even get it open with the spoon. I just was ready to throw the darn thing. I took a knife. I was stabbing it. I was stabbing the thing, and I finally got it open. But then the dough was all full of holes and stuff like that.
I felt that same fit of rage last week when I found out we can't stream Friday's game. But never mind. We'll talk about that later.
Let's first talk about here's a couple of topics we're going to talk about here real quick. I'm going to give you an update on Milky because Did talk to him last week, actually.
Oh, nice.
And then I'm going to we'll look at the hoops roundup, and then when I say this, we'll look at the girls brackets, some of the number 1 seeds, and maybe some of the matchups. I know that BC was. You're already looking at it. You're already looking at.
Talk about mad scientist stuff. I love this stuff. Trying to figure out what games we could potentially stream.
And on the boys' side, FVA race coming down to the wire, and it's coming down to the big game between Oshkosh North Kaukauna in Oshkosh North on Friday. A game that we won't be live streaming. More on that in a second. But, we'll do a quick preview of that because actually me and Steve Clark are putting together a preview of he's going to give 3 reasons why he thinks Oshkosh North will win, and I'll give my 3 reasons why Kaukauna will win. And then our next topic before we wrap up, April Gale look back. I forgot to do this last month. I had planned on doing it 2 years and some change since the whole Tweetgate thing kind of went there with her social media and student athletes. We'll kind of look back a little bit and see if maybe times have changed. I don't think they have, but we'll talk about that more. And then we'll wrap up, maybe take a look at the sectionals for wrestling because I'll be at the Kohl Center, Brett, for a couple of days next week covering that individual state tournament and also a preview of our upcoming varsity roundtable with Wrightstown's James Hansen and Luke Hodge. Luke Hayes, because you and I both agree we think Wrightstown's kind of a team that flies under the radar, a little bit of a dark horse.
Yeah, they've had a nice season, both sides, boys and girls. Wrightstown boys are just on the verge of a Northeastern Conference championship. Same with the girls. They are the Northeastern Conference champs, I believe, and looking pretty good for Tigers basketball this coming tournament season.
They don't get enough love. And
they don't.
And I'll be the first one to admit,
and
please, I apologize to my Wrightstown people out there. You deserve more exposure. Hopefully we'll get you some of that more in terms of the boys' side anyway later tonight, again, for the roundtable. Let's talk about Milky for a minute or two. The Milky update. If you've been living under a rock, the last couple of weeks, John Milky, the Appleton East boys coach, was, I guess for lack of a better, I'll describe it. He was ambushed at a local bar tavern here by some Appleton East parents who weren't happy with the way he's been coaching and in terms of the way how vociferously he communicates with their sons. Long story short, Milky, I guess, decided he's had enough. And the next day, or a day later on that Sunday, the following Sunday, that was on a Friday night when that encounter took place, said in the morning practice, look, this is it, guys. I'm stepping down, and that's where we are now because he hasn't come back. The varsity staff initially also left with him, but Coach Coonan actually came back and is now coaching the team the rest of the way. I think they have 5 games left, 4 or 5 games. So it's not too many. Next
I'm going to say probably about 3.
Yeah, I think you're right. It is 3.
We're winding down. Next week's the end of the regular season for the boys.
Correct. So he's been incognito. He has been laying low.
Hiding.
He is hiding. No,
he's
been laying low.
But you found him,
But
Ricardo.
I got a hold of him. I won't say how I did. But I was able to contact him, and we had a nice chat, private chat. I can't go into specifics, but I want to let everyone know that he's doing well. He is absolutely, very appreciative of the showering of support that he's had from both players, coaches, fans alike, the entire East community, which seems to be at his back, save for a couple of outliers there in terms of parents who don't agree with how he coaches. But yes, and we talked at length, and it was a very good talk, and it was great to hear Coach Milky again. Possibly something in the near future on that too, by the way, on how we'll approach. Kind of like to wrap up this whole, put a nice little bow tie. I guess let's not do bow. Let's not say bow. But put, I guess, closure to this, Brett, because this is something that people have been wondering about how he's doing.
I'm just wondering, Ricardo, in how you found him. Were you staking out? Were you kind of like sitting in the car?
There's nothing
right,
like
Rosie?
That.
Those little movies, kind of hunched down in the car, and it's getting late at night, and he's like, finally you see John Milky sort of walk into his house with his water bottle in his hand.
and the towel
over his shoulder.
Yeah. No, that's not how it happened. I can't give away how it happened, but I was able to get a mode of communication with him that perhaps wasn't available to other folks. So I thank the person there who helped me with that. But yeah, that's the update, and there'll be more to come in this in the coming weeks. I assure you of that, Brett.
Looking forward to it. I'm sure John, knowing him, will have some very thoughtful comments whenever he finally is comfortable to speak to you. I'm looking forward to that. And
I know everyone else is. So more to come on that in the coming weeks, and I'll alert you if you follow me on Twitter. I'll let everyone know when that is coming.
I'm sure you saw it last night, too. Our colleague Mike Sherry sent that tweet from the Star Tribune over in Minneapolis about a coach over there kind of experiencing, it seemed a little bit even more harsh out there with, even some death threats or some very nasty situation going on with one of the coaches out there who I think he's going to coach through the rest of the season. I have to read the article again, but
yeah.
AD kind of stepping in, trying to be a shield for him. So no doubt it speaks to a larger problem right now, is the growing influence that parents have on high school sports. It's probably now more than it ever has been, certainly since we've been covering it anyway.
These coaches, I don't know how you do it. You don't get paid enough. I'm telling you this. I'm not just saying this to fluff you. I'm telling you this because it is true what these folks have to deal with, and also officials to a certain extent as well. Just the vitriol from these parents. And again, Generation X, that's us. Stop doing this. Knock it off.
Well, how did it turn? Like, what was the trigger? Like, why did this turn societally?
Yes, I agree. I'm trying to figure out what it was.
Why did we start giving ribbons out to everybody? When did parents start swooping in and sort of protecting? And there's nothing wrong with, I guess we're going to get into a societal type topic again, but Rosie, I think you agree. There's nothing wrong with us protecting our kids to a certain extent, but
sure.
You know, if there's something school related, we've always told our boys, then you got to talk to the teacher, or during parent-teacher conferences when the parents are invited, then you discuss, you know, is there situations that need to be discussed. Same with coaches. I guess can't imagine my wife and I would ever hunt down a coach at a local establishment and corner him and say what we think we need to say. And that doesn't mean, hey, we all disagree from time to time, whether what level, saying, geez, I don't know if my kid should be playing this, or we just that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And I think with the referee stuff too, I still don't think there's anything wrong with saying he traveled, you missed that one. It's the ones that take it to another level that
personal
get
insults,
yes,
or following them. You know, a lot of times those officials are right away off the court once the game's over for good reasons, because some of these fans, they want to get physical, and they take this way too seriously. I mean, these are just high school games.
So where did it change?
Not even at high school games. You see it in the youth and the rec stuff.
Oh yeah. Well,
that's where it's embarrassing.
We had we had a ref tell us one time that we just were joking. Hey, ref a great game. This was before a live stream, and he turned to us and goes, "Yeah, well, it's not an exact science, but I think more people should take that."
Hey, they're going to make mistakes too.
Yeah,
and a coach is going to make mistakes.
Right.
And your kid's going to make a lot of
mistakes.
Lots
of mistakes.
Like for instance, we had a tournament a couple weeks ago, and it was a back and forth game. It was just great. I mean, it was so much fun watching these kids. They were having a blast. And final shot of the game to at least tie it to send it in overtime. Our kid takes a three, just gets hammered. I mean, his arm was crushed. He didn't even get the ball off because he got hit so hard. Ref was standing right there, didn't call a foul. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, how can you not call a foul?" And kids are crying, "Oh, I should have had a foul." It's like, you know what? It happens sometimes. And it's like, we're not collecting a paycheck, we're not getting paid, and this is only 5th grade. So you know what? Instead of focusing on how we lost and we didn't get this call, it's like, you guys probably played the greatest game that I've seen all tournament, all day. It was so much fun to watch. We ended up losing, but you know what? Whatever.
Was he official, by the way, like some young kid?
No, he was an older guy.
Oh, he was an older guy.
But, nobody cared. I mean, in the during when we shook hands after the game, the coaches were like, "You should be taking 3." I'm like, I know, but you know what? It was a great game to watch. And it came down to the last second shot. So it's like, we could have made it, we could not made it. Who cares?
One of the problems I have, one of the issues I do see with officiating, I don't know why we turn to the officials, but in some of these tournaments, those guys are roughing games all day long, and there are some out there, and it's true that they're there just collecting the money.
Yeah.
And they just want to get in and out, and they're just not even blowing their whistle sometimes, and it gets a little too physical, especially at the youth levels. But I know that it's tough to recruit. Getting back to the coaching thing, though, in how this all turned as far as parents and how they treat their kids, it'd really be a fascinating look to see when did this start. I mean, because it wasn't like that for any of us growing up.
No,
and I know, Brett, and you and I, we've talked about possibly getting a bunch of folks together to kind of talk about this.
It would
possibly
be fascinating to
and that's just an idea. Maybe we'll throw it out there, and maybe I'll talk to some coaches and see if there's something we can put together, or whatever, like a community discussion.
Yeah, be a town hall.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny because when I was in high school, going out for sports, doing whatever, if it was football, basketball, golf, bowling, whatever, my dad would actually tell me, I don't see why you're complaining so much if I, whined about playing time or this or that. He goes, you're not that good.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? He goes,
Your dad tells you matter of factly,
he's
you're not
just
good.
like,
Yeah.
I don't. How many times a day are you out practicing outside of practice?
Right.
I'm like,
none.
And how many times that? Okay, fine. Yeah, you got me, Dad. All right, I'm not that good. And that, you know what? And I took that to. I suppose if I want to be really good, I'm gonna have to work on it outside of practice times. So. But,
I'm not saying with you.
I
was not a big practicer outside of, even in season.
But I think we need. Do we need more parents like that? I mean, granted, I grew up in a time where it's way different than it is now. But yeah, for my dad to tell me, what are you getting mad about? You're not that good. I mean, do parents have to take some sort of different advice nowadays?
Good luck with that. I have no idea how you're going to do that.
Well, one last thing before you switch over to more of the Hoops Roundup stuff. Do you remember Spencer Raup, the old Omro coach? I remember he was just starting to become taking Omro to that next limit when I was a senior, and I was actually shooting around sometime like after school or something with some of my buddies, and he was there, and I remember shooting a couple of shots and stuff, and very terrible, as you know, Brett, at basketball. But I was like, man, I wish I was like 6'7" or 6'8", and I remember Spencer saying to me, why? So you can be good at being tall? If you ain't got no skills, you know what I mean? And I was like, you got to be told as it is, right? Brett, doesn't matter. You're not good.
Rosie, Ricardo, what was it? Remember when we used to do the United Way around the world tournament? I think I won that 4 straight years.
You did.
Yeah.
I think it was 4 straight years that I held the crown.
You should have been 5, but there was.
It should have been 5, but there were controversy that I still. They make a great 30 for 30 at some point to know what happened.
Asterisk on that last one.
But I remember Ricardo's 2 or 3 year run was like 1 of 30.
No, it was one. No, I only did it 2 years. It was 1 of 20.
1 of 20.
And might I add, I eventually had the surgery on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm telling you that it was difficult for me to even get any kind of shot up correctly. And as the 1 for 20 can show, I got beat by someone who was shooting underhand, I think.
She was pregnant, too.
Yes. Pregnant and shooting granny style. Or no, was that 2 separate occasions?
It might have been 2 different occasions.
Yeah, one was pregnant and one shot granny style.
Yeah, so.
But I give you props. You were wearing LeBron's high school jersey,
I was.
Irish. So,
and I was wearing the headband. I looked the part.
At least
you looked really cool.
I looked like Tarzan, played like Gene.
Hey, by the way, there was a media versus staff game down in Oshkosh. The Herd staff versus media members yesterday. How come we weren't invited to that?
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe because we don't cover them.
I'd have been. Why wasn't Steve Clark part of it then?
No, that's true. Well, Steve Clark's got the bad leg. Remember?
Yeah, but just stick him on the block and just let him fit. He'd be the blocker in the blocker mover system, right? Just setting that screen.
I would have been part of that.
I'd just been sitting outside like old men do, right? Just popping threes.
Yep.
Rainbow
just
threes.
Dish to you, stand in front, do the block.
Nothing but net.
Make it rain.
Yep.
Well, speaking of that, girls brackets are out, and looking at some of the number 1 seeds, Brett, Appleton North, Hortonville, Seymour, Shiocton, and I believe Wrightstown also were number 1 seeds. And Kimberly, the number 2 seed, maybe the best number 2 seed you'll see. But yeah, it's that time again, and we're really looking at some of these matchups coming on down the docket. And you look at all the number 1 seeds. Appleton North, great shot to make it to state. Hortonville, great shot to make it to state. Seymour as well, though they will have to eventually play Beaver Dam. Wrightstown's in there. I'll be surprised they made it there last year. Could be back again. And Shiocton. All 5 of those teams have a legit chance at making it to the state tournament, along with Kimberly. Because they're probably more than likely will play Appleton North in that sectional final.
A sectional final, I love getting out the brackets, trying to figure out, because we're going to be streaming playoff games again, girls, boys, all the way through boys sectional finals, and trying to figure out the matchups. And yeah, you talk about really looking ahead, but how about Appleton North versus Kimberly in a sectional championship, 1 o'clock, Rosie, at Spash at Stevens Point. That would be a very interesting game. And an easy road trip for us, I would think, to go over there and check that out.
Well,
that would be a good battle.
It's difficult to beat somebody 3 times, so.
There you go. It just he's playing with us.
Oh, okay, yeah. But
I heard some audio there, too.
I was like, what did I do here? No, but that would be a great game, I would think.
A Seymour Beaver Dam potential at Neenah is another one looking ahead, and I really want to get Wrightstown girls. We've tried them on a couple of occasions, just hasn't worked out, but a Wrightstown Amherst or Freedom sectional semifinal Thursday, March 1st at Menasha. So some really interesting matchups coming down the pike. But boy, an Appleton North Kimberly one at Stevens Point will be tough to turn down in all FVA. And FVA basketball, again, we talked about Wrightstown and the strength it's seeing on the hardwood on both boys and girls side. The FVA overall, boys and girls, so many good teams and could be well represented either at the Resch or the Kohl Center.
And I've seen the last week over the the top three teams in the FVA battle each other, and Appleton East too in recent weeks. I saw Appleton North beat Hortonville to win a share of the FVA title on Monday, and then I also see Kimberly beat Hortonville on Friday. Very close games, both of them, by the way, to kind of keep pace with Appleton North. As we go to their last game, they still have a shot, I guess, to clinch a share. If Appleton North would lose and they would win. Brett and Hortonville, amazingly, they lost both games, but they're still, in my opinion, one of the top 4 teams in Division II because of the schedule they play. Playing those 2 teams 4 times.
Well, that was a game. Unfortunately, Rosie was sick, but we wanted to stream the Hortonville Appleton North game Monday night in a great matchup that really wasn't decided until the end, as expected. But yeah, you look at Hortonville's schedule. And I put it down in the game notes. All of their losses, I believe, have come against teams that are ranked in the state in either Divisions 1 or 2.
Right.
And all but one, I think, were by 8 points or fewer, if memory serves. They've been in every game. And how about Macy McGlone? What did she have?
32 points, 14 rebounds.
32 and 14 going against Appleton North. Now,
we've seen her.
The Lightning and Coach Joe Russum, we're going to let you get yours because we can't match up, and they're going to try to defend hard on everybody else. But still, a very risky decision.
Pick your poison.
Yeah, at least not to double the post and try to slow her down. She is going to be a force in the FVA. Well, she already is, but she's going to be fun to watch coming down the stretch. But I would not be shocked to see Hortonville make it to the Resch Center. They are good. They've just had an incredibly tough schedule with Notre Dame, Seymour, and then of course Appleton North and Kimberly in the FVA. But they're going to be battle tested because some of the teams are going to be playing in the playoffs. They don't stand a chance.
Hey, before we move on, hey, Rob Hernandez checking in. Way out there in California, right, Rob? You're over there in Temecula. Hoping you're enjoying some In-N-Out. Because I love that burger chain out there, man. Love that stuff. But he's saying, hey, I would research volume of coaching changes at the college pro level and see how the trickle-down effect to high schools corresponded. I think we saw a lot in the NCAA and NBA, NFL first, and then started seeing the same standards applied to high school sports in terms of the coaching changes. I mean, so it's interesting to kind of think about. Well, this is a topic that we're going to tackle a little bit more in the future, hopefully, as we can maybe get that kind of town hall thing going off the ground. Brett, the FVA race for the boys' side comes down to Friday's game between Oshkosh and North Carolina. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
One question for you guys. Do you think is North going to – I mean, if they go up against somebody with height again, do you think they're going to stay with a man-to-man because of the speed that they have on defense?
Well, here's the thing. Milwaukee King has that Roby girl. Remember her last year, Brett?
Mm-hmm.
Now, they went down to Milwaukee King, and they lost at Wisconsin Lutheran College. The game was so big they had to move it to Wisconsin Lutheran College. They lost to them 60-50, but you know what? Coach Russum said afterwards that was a good loss for them because it showed them exactly what they needed to do. They were playing in a hostile environment in terms of on the road against one of the top teams in the state. The girls learned from that. But again, Roby is obviously she's very similar to McGlone in the fact that she's even more so in the fact because she's one of the top recruits in the nation.
Yeah.
I think Minnesota was looking at her last year. So this is going to be an interesting question to see how they do tackle people in the paint. Are they going to let her get her point and then kind of focus on everyone else? Can you get away with doing that against Milwaukee King? Who knows? They were able to do it against Hortonville. I don't know if you can do that against King.
And then if you get her into foul trouble, too. I mean, there's all kinds of scenarios that could play
Because
out.
remember, last year, Callie Pullman helped out in defending, and they don't have Callie Pullman anymore, one of the best defenders we've ever seen at the high school girls level. So that's going to be interesting. But more on that in a little bit because the Oshkosh-North Kaukauna game, Brett, this is a big one. I know you're bummed because we can't be there, my friend. What happened?
Where do we get?
Why do you put me on the spot like this?
Because that's the kind of guy I am.
Well, obviously it's a game of heavy statewide interest, heavy media interest, and apparently because of the number of media outlets that will be there, that there is not enough space in that big Oshkosh North gym to house us, even though Rosie, I know you know this, and Ricardo too, that our streaming operation takes up minimal space. And it was also suggested that perhaps that our live stream efforts hurt attendance, which I completely...
in that kind of a game, I doubt it.
I completely dispute that 100%. We've streamed numerous games over the years where there's been jam-packed crowds. Trust me, our streams do not hurt attendance. It's just an unfortunate thing that we can't be there. I know I've had folks ask if we're going to be there. I think it's the game of the year. It's number 1 in Division I against number 2 in Division II with some serious talent and some serious prospects. But what's the old adage? It is what it is, and we move on. But good luck to all those who will be participating in the game. Wish we could be there, but I have a feeling we'll have a chance to stream Kaukauna and Oshkosh North down the road. But I just think I can think of smaller gyms where there have been certainly a the same number or a close amount of the same number of media outlets, and that we're all able to get in just fine. So we would be in a little corner out of the way, and it's disappointing. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it happened last year, and everything worked out fine. Same number of media outlets plus us, and it was fine. But
I mean, we go with if we are accepted, and we got blocked like the Kembe Mutombo. We got swatted away. So hey,
not in my house.
So what? I mean, maybe we'll get to see. Looking at Oshkosh North, Rosie, we talked about it. I keep looking at you because it's going to be you and me quite a bit just by ourselves come playoffs because Ricardo's going to be busy with wrestling. But Oshkosh North Kimberly matchup at Marshfield in a sectional final based on how the seeding should go. Maybe Kaukauna Cedarburg somewhere down the line. I don't know if they would meet in a sectional final, but it could be a semifinal somewhere. That would be epic too with Diener and McCabe going toe to toe.
Well, speaking of Oshkosh North and Kaukauna, you talk about McCabe and you talk about Halliburton. The stars are going to be showcased in that game, so I expect a large crowd there, lots of media, and it's the game of the week, game of the year, really, in the state. So you talk about number ones, Oshkosh North in Division 1, Kaukauna in Division 2. Look for a preview coming out tomorrow's paper, both Oshkosh and Appleton, as Steve Clark from Oshkosh kind of gives his 3 reasons why he thinks his Oshkosh North Spartans will win, and I give my 3 reasons why I think the Kaukauna boys team will win. So interesting viewpoints.
Give us a little bit of a taste. What do you think is going to happen in this
Well,
one?
in my opinion, I think Jordan McCabe, we have seen him for 4 years. In the biggest games, wouldn't you say that he has shown brightest?
This is what he thrives on.
Yes.
He's going to thrive in an environment. So is Tyrese Halliburton and Quincy Anderson and those guys, too. They're good. McCabe lives for this stuff.
Yes.
He loves the bright lights. He's been the center of attention since he was like 10.
Yeah.
He's used to the attention, and he's going to put in at least 30.
Yeah, and I just don't see him allowing his team to lose. And Kaukauna has won 13 in a row, I believe. They have really taken several steps forward in progression. Oshkosh North has also played well. I don't know if they've taken those same kind of steps. Obviously, their only loss came to Kaukauna on January 9th. In a game, I think McCabe scored 41 points and had that incredible behind-the-back pass on his knees. So, in my opinion, of course, I think Kaukauna is going to win. I just think Jordan McCabe is going to be the X factor like he is in a whole lot of games. But I will say this. For those of you who aren't interested, watch Halliburton and watch McCabe, because those, in my opinion, are the 2 top guys for the Mr. Basketball Award.
Well,
hold on.
Yeah.
I believe so because you look at some of the way some of the other guys on the list. I just think McCabe, in terms of the high school level, deserves the award. I think Halliburton, and I'm saying this now because Halliburton I don't think is considered to be one of the top 3 or top 4. I think in my opinion his collegiate, I think he's going to be better than Harrell in college.
Well, I was going to say Tyler Harrell, obviously one of the favorites as well. I was going to say this could decide Mr. Basketball.
Oh, okay.
This could decide.
All right.
If Kaukauna wins and McCabe has a big game, I think that cements it. I think Jordan McCabe is your Mr. Basketball in the state of Wisconsin.
Oh, good
and
thought.
And I thought about Jordan McCabe too. We streamed the Kaukana's game last week against Neenah, and McCabe I think finished with 32. It was the quietest 32, which I always take. That's a compliment. It's kind of like when we see Xavier in the points. It's like all of a sudden they got 90 points. God, that seems so effortless. Yeah. And McCabe seemed to make it look effortless at times out there too. And it's like, wow, geez, he had 32 points. It didn't seem like that. So I expect a very big game from the West Virginia recruit. By the way, I saw McCabe over the weekend. He was at Morgantown taking in a West Virginia game, and I saw him behind the bench. He was hanging out. I could see him checking out Huggy Bear and thinking, wow, he's going to yell at me quite a bit next year, isn't he?
Yeah, and that's going to be, again, it's funny because we talked about this before, Iowa State and West Virginia, same conference, so you're going to be seeing those 2 battling each other for the next 4 years, and they also have been friends of the Varsity Roundtable show, so best of luck.
Can't wait to see that game. Yeah. Wish we could be there.
Yeah.
But you'll be there.
I will be there. I will be there for traditional print and also online. By the way, before we wrap up here, I want to do one more topic quick. I mean, this one might be something we can add on to in later shows. But, Brett, it's been 2 years and about a month since April Gale since Twittergate. Remember that tweet that she sent? Not to anyone in particular. She just put it on her Twitter account.
What happened again?
For those of you who don't recall, April Gale de Hilbert, she's now over at UW Stevens Point doing great things there for the volleyball team. 2 years ago, she was suspended for 4.5 games, actually, for her tweet that went viral. Remember, she basically said, "Eat something, WIA," because the WIA had really misstepped and put out I guess a memo to member schools saying, "Hey, we got to curb back on some of these, or be aware of this, of some of the chants that are going around." Remember the air ball and that kind of stuff, and it went viral. That part of the story went viral as well, and because of in relation to the April Gale tweet, where she basically said, "Hey, at WIA, eat your lunch."
Yeah.
Well, she
used another term, but then of course she got suspended, and then there was some controversy there. Remember, because the WIA sent a letter with a screenshot of Gale's tweet to Hilbert, basically saying, well, according to the mom, take care of this, please. That's what she said. It said on the email when the AD there at Hilbert showed her that. Went big, but it led into a bigger discussion, Brett, not so much about also about the WIA and their silliness with the chants and trying to curb, fan chants, that kind of stuff.
Got Jay Billis riled up, didn't it?
Sure did. Yeah. But also about student athletes and what you put on your Twitter account, because now, even today we still see that a little bit with these kids seeing a lot of stuff on their Twitter accounts, Brett. In my opinion, I don't think it's gotten any worse. I don't think it's gotten any better, though.
No. It's just the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a non-issue.
Okay.
It's a non-issue that the WIA made into an unnecessary issue.
Yeah.
Chance or chance. Kids are having fun. I haven't heard anything derogatory in the games that we've been at and the games that my son plays in.
I think we had one during one of our streams.
Did we? I don't remember.
There was a bad call on the ref, and the student section reacted like they did not really like
with
that.
With the bull blank?
Yeah.
Well.
Or push. It's push it.
Oh,
what they say.
Is that what it is?
They go push it.
Oh,
boy, are they creative! I love them kids, but
that's just it. Fine. You're gonna not let us say this. We're gonna come up with something else even better. So
you're right, though. As far as social media and everything, it's common sense.
Yeah.
I mean, just be smart. Don't put something stupid out there. And not only that, but a lot of these kids are going to go on to the college. I mean, if they're college applications, all these colleges are kind of admissions looking at this stuff. And
Brett, that's actually a good point. I don't think students you really do have to realize this, that those college folks, they look at your Twitter, what you post, and I believe me, I follow a lot of athletes, and they follow me. It's all in good fun, but I've noticed that sometimes, like, oh, wow, you're saying that, huh? Yeah, you might want to rethink that. I mean, I don't say that to them because I'm not their parent or anything, and they can say whatever they want, but you have to always be careful if you are going for that scholarship, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff doesn't help.
Just a regular student athlete that's not going to play at the next level. They still got to be smart. Future employers could look down the line and start going through your social media accounts and say, "Oh boy, look at this from 3 years ago. What the heck was he talking about then?" And that can come back to bite you. So just be smart.
Absolutely.
Common sense, Ricardo.
Yes, we'll eventually talk about this in the following episode. But Brett, we got to wrap it up here. By the way, if you don't follow us, if you're not watching this on Facebook and you want to listen to it on the podcast, go to iTunes, go to Stitcher, go to Google Play, look for the R&B Show, download it, subscribe, whatever you got to do, and it'll come to your phone when we upload it every week. So please do that if you can. But you're always welcome to come watch us on Facebook as well. We welcome your comments and all that kind of stuff too. So we welcome that interaction as well. But Brett, this roundtable tonight, Wrightstown's James Hansen, Luke Hayes.
Yep.
I'm excited.
I am
we're going to showcase these kids because they deserve it. They're I guess did they clinch a share of the rights of the NEC?
Yep, they're 14-1. I got the standings right here. 14-1 in the NEC. Marinette and Little Chute next at 12-3 with 3 games to play.
Okay.
So they're just about there.
Right, and they've been having a fabulous season. They kind of get lost in the shuffle with Division III just because of the behemoths there, Xavier, in our area. But don't sleep on the Tigers because that is a program that has been consistently solid. Oh, man, since I got here, basically.
For a number of years
now.
now.
Yeah, at least since 2007.
Luke's dad, Corey, the head coach, has done a really nice job of all that's left for them is to get over that hurdle and make it down to Madison.
Yeah, exactly. The girls popped through.
Yeah.
Now maybe is it time for Wrightstown Tigers? I mean, they had all those great games, remember, with Brilliant in the sectional finals.
Well, they had one back in the day with Little Chute in the sectional championship.
Right.
Where Little Chute back then, who was on there, was Rick Hammond and Nick Amon and Connor DeBruin and that group, and Turner Botts was a sophomore. in a great matchup at Menasha High School. They just couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah, so we'll welcome them to the show, so we can't wait to have James and Luke on, talking everything about the Tigers.
Yeah, Mason Hazert and Luke Hayes. Mason Hazert, the conference's leading scorer at 19.7 points per game for the Tigers. Hayes is fourth, so they have two of the top 4 scorers in the league.
And Hazert, is he a sophomore, right?
Hazert's a junior.
Oh, junior, okay.
And Hayes is a senior at 16.7. So good stuff going on with the Tigers on both sides of the boys and girls programs.
Well, we can't wait to have them on, so please check that out again, 7 o'clock tonight. You can watch it on Facebook, right, Rosie?
That's
or
right.
on postcrescent.com, facebook.com/postcrescent.
Hey,
yes.
I got a few plugs.
Yes,
I know
please,
we got to
go
wrap
ahead,
up.
Brett.
First of all, working still on a live stream.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll just say Hunter Plowman, 24 points away from setting the all-time scoring record at Xavier High School, the career scoring record, a record that has stood since 1963 with the great Kip Whitlinger. So, and another victory, I think, would be the 49th in a row. That would set a program record as well, 49 or 50. I'd have to double-check, but possible maybe going over to Torchy Clark just to maybe see a history made. You'll be down at Oshkosh, but that's pretty fun stuff over at Xavier High School, and we don't get a chance to stream them very much, guys, because let's face it, the Bay is
not very good.
It's
other than Xavier.
Well, New London's had a nice season, and but still, other than Xavier, they're certainly the class. So potential. Look for Facebook.com/Varsity Roundtable and at PC Brett C. Also, Ricardo, can I get in our
yes,
plug
please.
for the Wisconsin High School Sports Award Show? We've got some fun things coming up with that. That's going to be May 11th at the Lambeau Field Atrium.
Can't wait.
You're co-hosting. I'm co-hosting. Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers will be the special guest. Tickets are available for purchase. General admission $35. You can get them at this website, sportsawards.wisconsinmedia.com. sportsawards.wisconsinmedia.com. Check it out. And right now we've got a couple of contests going on. We have our sideline selfie contest. We're looking for kids who are really into their teams, into their school spirit. Take a selfie of yourself at a sporting event and use the hashtag WISidelineSelfie and post it to Instagram. The winning entry, the winning poster, we'll get a chance to hang out with Aaron Rodgers at the show, so that's a pretty good incentive there. And then we're still looking for nominees for our I Am Sport Award, which is presented by the Milwaukee Bucks.
Wow. Yep.
And again, we're looking for athletes, high school athletes in our USA Today Network Wisconsin markets who are really making an impact on their communities through their work with youth, the youth in their communities through different programs. And again, through that website, sportsawards.wisconsinmedia.com, you can nominate somebody to be recognized at the show. We've got a nice collection already, but the link is on that site. Just scroll down, punch it, and nominate a deserving athlete to certainly be considered to be part of the show and recognize them. There's a lot of good things. The nomination period ends on the 19th, so that's coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah, it is actually. So please get those in. Nice, Brett, to make a last call, I guess, for those who are interested in that. Bucks are helping out, so Giannis, we'll see Giannis there?
No.
Oh, okay.
Bucks are probably, they might be in the playoffs at that point.
Well, maybe we'll see Bango.
Yeah, or maybe we'll see somebody with the Wisconsin. Actually, thanks to Allie Westcott for posting the link on our Facebook page here on the Facebook Live feed as well, sportsawards.wisconsinmedia.com. But yeah, the Bucks, that'd be kind of fun. Wouldn't that be cool to get Giannis there too?
Of course, and one of the challenges would be if I can spell his name correctly, or just say it.
Giannis is easy.
Yeah, Antetokounmpo. Right?
Antetokounmpo would be a little tough to
spell it.
Spell that one.
The alphabet. That's what we want to call them. The alphabet.
Yeah, that's how you spell Antetokounmpo. A B C D E F G.
Basically. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Brett, for that.
Yep.
And again, thank you everyone for watching and tuning in. Again, you can follow us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. Please subscribe. For the only show dedicated to high school sports in the Fox Valley area in Wisconsin. That is the R&B Show podcast. Brett, ready to show off that gun.
You want to throw one this time?
No, it's all you, my friend. We'll see you here next week again, noontime. Again, check us out, facebook.com/postcrescent.
Here we go. Right on the money there, Rosie.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to do... Bam! I'm on fire tonight.
Nice.
Rosie, get better, would you please?
I will.